to show you how to update plain boring walls like these with some molding called board and batten. I'm sure you've seen it online, but I want to show you how easy it is and how cheap you can do it so that you can do it in your home and really improve the look of your space. To create this look, we're going to need just a few things. A miter saw, an air compressor with trim gun and nails, 1x6s, 1x4s, a tape measure, a level, sandpaper with a sanding pole if you have one, painter's putty, painter's caulk, primer, paint, and a paintbrush. So I arbitrarily decided that I want the top of my molding to start at 60 inches from the baseboard, so I'm going to get my horizontal measurement and then I'll figure out how tall my battens or the vertical pieces will be. For this first step, just transfer the measurements and make your cuts. Easy peasy. I'm using a 1x6 for my horizontal piece because it matches the trim around my case opening, but you can use whatever suits your house, whether it's a 1x4 or even 1x3s. For the strongest hold, nail all of your wood material into your wall studs. And before doing any carpentry work, always be cautious of any plumbing pipes or electrical wires hidden behind your walls. After installing the horizontals, lay out the batten placement. I'm spacing mine on 20-inch centers, but go with whatever best suits the wall you're working on. Next, measure the height for each individual batten. I really lucked out in that all of my verticals are going to be the same measurement, so I'm going to cut all 5 boards at once. But you should probably leave this to the professionals. Here's a neat little trick to save you some time with this install. Cut a spacer block and use that as a guide between each batten. This will ensure that the distance between each board is exactly the same. Sometimes you run into obstacles when you're installing trim, like this vent or maybe an outlet. So what I did was come up with a creative solution by cutting a bevel in the bottom of my 1x4, so it'll just flow right over the air vent. A true board and batten would actually have a piece of wood right here, but since I'm doing a budget-friendly version, I'm not going to have that, and you can still see all the texture from the plaster walls here, so I'm going to sand it to try and smooth it out and make it look as real as possible. Sanding in a finished space can make a real mess, but this pole sander attaches to a shop vac, which really cuts down on the dust. Once the walls and trim have been sanded smooth, prime any raw surfaces and putty all nail holes. Caulk can be your best friend in a project like this, especially if you have wavy walls like I have and you have a big gap between your board and your wall. Put some caulk on it and no one will ever know. Finally, wrap it all up with a finished coat of paint. All of the materials I used here were less than $50, and that's my favorite kind of project. Not a lot of money, not a lot of time, but still makes a big impact. I hope you'll try it out in your house sometime. Thanks for checking in. I've got so many projects to share with you, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next episode.